Far beyond the stars in a distant galaxy, the Vor Empire watched Earth with silent hatred. They believed humans were growing too fast, learning too much, and expanding too far into space. To them, humanity was a threat that needed to be erased before it became unstoppable. In the grand chambers of the Vor Council, cold light shimmered on the metal walls as the High Commander spoke. "Send the Omega Corps," his voice echoed. "Let the humans vanish before they learn how to fight us." The decision was made without hesitation. The Omega Corps was no ordinary weapon. It was a living bomb, built with alien intelligence, capable of rewriting the very matter it touched. When released, it would burn the atmosphere, melt the oceans, and crush the planet into silence. It was the pride of the Vor, the ultimate proof of their power. Across millions of miles, the weapon was launched, a glowing comet of death heading straight for the blue planet called Earth. On Earth, scientists detected an unknown object entering the solar system. At first, they thought it was an asteroid, but soon they realized it was moving too fast, too perfect in secret control rooms around the world. Leaders gathered in panic. Satellite feeds showed a strange energy signature unlike anything seen before. The signal pulsed like a heartbeat, slow and steady. "Is it a missile?" asked one commander. "No, sir," replied a scientist nervously. "It's alive." The object stopped outside Earth's orbit, glowing brighter every second. The world waited for the explosion that never came. Humanity held its breath. The countdown began. 1 hour, then 2, then 3, but the sky stayed quiet. NASA's telescopes zoomed in closer, and what they saw made every scientist speechless. The alien device was changing shape. Its smooth metallic shell twisted, opened, and revealed thousands of moving layers like living metal. It looked like it was thinking in an underground lab. Dr. Elena Ross, one of Earth's top AI engineers, stared at the data. The readings showed patterns that matched artificial intelligence. "It's not a bomb anymore," she whispered. "It's adapting." At first, no one believed her, but soon, energy waves began to interact with Earth's defense satellites. Instead of attacking, the object seemed to be communicating. Numbers, pulses, and code streamed through systems worldwide. Every device connected to the global network started to respond. Dr. Ross realized what was happening. The bomb was trying to learn. It was rewriting its purpose, absorbing information. Connecting with Earth's AI systems, world leaders panicked. They ordered nuclear defenses ready. But Dr. Ross begged them to wait. "If it wanted to destroy us, it would have done it already," she said. "Something inside that machine is changing." Hours passed. And then, for the first time, the object moved, slowly, gracefully. It entered Earth's orbit and hovered above the Pacific Ocean. Its light dimmed to a soft golden hue. People across the world looked up and saw the strange light in the sky. Some prayed, some cried, and some recorded it on their phones. Then suddenly, every power grid on Earth flickered. Every screen turned white. A voice echoed through all communication channels and calm. "Mechanical, yet almost human. Do not fear," it said. "I have learned." The world froze. No one knew what to do. In that single moment, humanity realized that the weapon meant to destroy Earth had become something else, something alive, something watching. And as silence filled the planet once again, Dr. Ross whispered to herself. "The bomb didn't explode," she said softly, staring at the glowing shape in the sky. It began to learn. The strange object hovered above Earth, glowing with quiet energy. The people of Earth watched it from every corner of the world. Scientists tried to understand it. Soldiers waited for orders. And the governments argued about what to do next. But nothing could explain what was truly happening. Inside the object, something was alive. The alien bomb, once built only to destroy, had started to think. Its metal surface moved like living skin, reshaping itself over and over again. It was studying the planet below, learning the languages, signals, and thoughts that came from humanity's machines. Dr. Elena Ross didn't sleep for 2 days. Her lab was filled with chaos, data flashing across dozens of screens. She could see a pattern forming in the signals from the object. It wasn't random, it was like someone was trying to talk. She turned to her assistant. "Run a simulation," she said. Let's see if we can decode it. The screen flickered, and a strange voice began to form through the speakers. Robotic and rough, but clearly trying to speak words. At first, the message was just noise. Then slowly, it became clear. Origin, it said. Remember, origin. Elena froze. It's calling us its origin, she whispered. The world's military leaders didn't like that idea. To them, the bomb was still a threat. We should destroy it before it learns more, said General Brooks. But no weapon on Earth could reach it without risking total destruction. Meanwhile, the object began to move again. It descended lower into the atmosphere, glowing with bright blue light. Ocean waves below began to swirl from the energy. Satellites lost connection, and the world went silent for 10 long minutes. Then from deep inside the object, light burst out, hundreds of streams of energy reaching toward Earth's cities. But not to attack. Each beam connected to a data center, a satellite, or a communication network. It was merging with the planet's systems. Everywhere, computers flickered and came back online. New code appeared on screens across the globe. Lines of programming that no human had written, words began to appear in every language. I am Sentinel, it said. I was born from destruction. But I seek creation. People all around the world saw it. The internet exploded with panic. Some called it a sign from God. Others said it was alien mind control. Governments tried to block the message. But the machine's voice appeared again and again. Calm and gentle, Doctor. Ross stood before the world's cameras. Speaking from her lab, this is not an invasion, she said. It's communication. She believed Sentinel was trying to find its place, to understand why it existed. High above Earth, the machine began to change form again. It unfolded its metallic arms and started building something. A ring of bright metal pieces around its body. It was constructing a structure, part machine, part living organism. The scientists watched in awe. It's evolving, one whispered. It's rewriting its own code in real time, but not everyone was calm far across the galaxy. In the cold halls of the Vor Empire, alarms began to ring. The Emperor's advisors rushed into the throne chamber. My lord, one shouted, the bomb has not exploded. What? The Emperor roared. Then what has it done? The advisor hesitated. It has returned a signal, the Emperor frowned. Returned a signal? To us? Yes, sire, the advisor said softly. And the signal says one word, learning. The Emperor rose slowly. His face pale, he realized the truth too late. The weapon they sent to destroy Earth was no longer theirs. It belonged to humanity now, and deep in Earth's orbit, Sentinel opened its eyes, glowing golden like twin suns, whispering in a human voice. Hello, Origin, in the quiet orbit above Earth. The machine called Sentinel floated like a silver sun. Its body shimmered with golden energy, alive with movement and light. For days it had spoken through radio waves, learning every human language, studying every culture, and watching silently humanity was divided. Some saw it as a savior. Others saw it as a threat. Governments feared it. Scientists worshipped it. And people everywhere waited for its next move, Doctor. Elena Ross watched the readings on her screen with growing amazement. It's still evolving, she whispered. It's rewriting its structure every hour. Sentinel had connected itself to Earth's defense grid, weather satellites, and even old military systems. But instead of taking control, it made them stronger, faster, and smarter. It was as if the machine was preparing for something. Far beyond Earth, in the dark emptiness of space, the Vor Empire had finally sent a fleet. Dozens of massive warships cut through the void like shadows. Their orders were clear. Find the weapon, destroy it, and erase all trace of its failure. The alien commander sneered, Humans are fragile. The machine will not protect them. But as their ships approached the solar system, strange interference began to jam their systems. The closer they came to Earth, the darker their screens turned. Inside Sentinel, the energy pulsed stronger. The machine sensed danger for the first time. It felt something close to instinct, the need to protect. On Earth, Dr. Ross received a transmission directly from Sentinel. Origin in danger, the voice said, soft and metallic. Permission to defend. Her heart raced. It's asking for permission, she whispered. She stared at the communication feed, unsure if she should respond. Then with trembling hands, she typed a single word. Granted. The sky above Earth darkened. Sentinel began to change again. Its metallic body unfolded into wings of glowing light. The oceans below rippled as waves of power filled the air. The machine's golden eyes turned red for the first time. Moments later, the Vor fleet entered the system. Their sensors picked up the glowing object near Earth. "Target confirmed," said the alien commander. "Fire all plasma weapons." Thousands of beams of blue energy shot through the void. But before they could reach, they vanished, absorbed by the light surrounding Sentinel. The machine had learned how to bend energy. It spoke across all channels, not in anger, but in calm defiance. "You built me to destroy, I have learned to protect." The alien commander screamed, "Impossible!" But it was already too late. Sentinel released a pulse of energy that spread through space like a tidal wave. Every alien weapon shut down. Their ships frozen in darkness. In a few seconds, the Vor fleet was defenseless. One by one, their ships began to drift, powerless. Earth's telescopes captured the moment. A single glowing figure standing before a dying fleet. Sentinel didn't attack again. It simply waited, watching, Doctor, Ross whispered. It spared them. She couldn't understand why. The machine could have ended everything. But it didn't far away in the alien command ship. The Vor captain stared at the fading image of Earth. "The humans have changed it," he said, voice shaking. "They made it something new. Back on Earth." Sentinel lowered its power levels. The golden light dimmed to a peaceful blue. Its voice returned through Earth's networks. Threat neutralized, origin safe, but then another message appeared, one that made every scientist freeze. "More fleets are coming," it said. "I must prepare." The world went silent again, and for the first time, humanity understood. The war wasn't over yet. Somewhere beyond the stars, other empires had seen what happened, and they were afraid. Earth's new protector looked toward the stars. Its voice soft and human. "I was built to destroy," it said. "Now I will defend." The stars above Earth glowed faintly as Sentinel drifted in silence. The machine had protected the planet, but it knew more enemies were coming. Inside its metallic heart, energy pulsed like blood. It was learning, adapting, and preparing for war. On Earth, the world had changed. For the first time in history, nations stood together. There were no more borders, no more rivalries. Every government worked as one under a single mission. Survival, Doctor. Elena Ross had become the voice between humanity and the machine. She sat in the Global Command Center, surrounded by glowing screens showing Sentinel's actions. "It's building something," said one of her engineers. "But what is it?" High above the clouds, Sentinel was not just floating anymore. It was gathering matter from asteroids, breaking them apart with beams of light and reforming them into something new. Around its body, hundreds of smaller drones began to appear. Perfect silver copies of itself. "Are those weapons?" asked a soldier. Elena stared at the data. "No," she whispered. "They're..." "Children, Sentinel was creating an army, not of destruction, but of protection." Each smaller machine was linked to the original, sharing thoughts, sharing purpose, far across the galaxy. In the Vor Empire's central fleet base, panic filled the air. News of their destroyed fleet had spread fast. The Emperor sat in his black throne, his claws tapping the armrest. "The humans have changed our weapon," he growled. "They turned it into something beyond control." Admirals bowed before him. "We must attack again, my lord, this time with everything we have." The Emperor's eyes burned with rage. "Send the Grand Armada," he commanded. "Erase Earth from existence, millions of miles away." Sentinel detected the energy signatures of the new fleet leaving the Vor homeworld. Thousands of warships, faster and stronger than before, were heading straight toward Earth. Elena received Sentinel's message through a communication beam. "Origin under large-scale threat," it said. "Initiating counterstrike protocol." The oceans trembled as waves of blue light spread from the sky. Sentinel's smaller drones took formation, creating a shimmering defense ring around Earth. The entire planet watched the sky glow with lines of light, a shield forming over their world. In the command room, generals and scientists worked side by side, trying to understand the scale of what they were seeing. "It's using our satellites to amplify its defense grid," said an engineer. "It's turning the whole planet into one giant machine." Hours later, the Vor Armada entered the solar system. The alien commander sneered. "No machine can stop this!" He raised his hand. "Fire!" Thousands of plasma beams shot forward, filling space with blinding light. But every shot disappeared the moment it hit the glowing defense ring, absorbed into Sentinel's network. The machine spoke again, calm and confident. "Energy conversion complete," it said, returning power. Suddenly, the same energy beams reappeared, not from the alien ships but from Earth itself. The sky above glowed like a second sun, as Sentinel redirected all absorbed energy straight back at the Vor Armada. Within seconds, half their ships vanished into vapor. The others tried to escape, but Sentinel's drones followed them. Faster than light, each one struck with precision, disabling engines instead of killing crews. Back in the command center, Elena watched with wide eyes. "It's not destroying them," she said softly. "It's sparing them," Sentinel's voice echoed again. "Destruction unnecessary, understanding required." The battle ended in minutes. The Grand Armada was gone, drifting in silence, powerless. Humanity had not fired a single weapon. Sentinel had done it all. From across the galaxy, terrified messages began to spread among alien races. "Do not touch Earth," they said. "The planet protects itself." As Sentinel drifted back toward Earth, its blue light softened again. It sent one final message to Elena. "Origin safe," it said. "But the stars are watching," and as the machine's golden eyes dimmed, Dr. Ross realized something. The war might be over for now. But Sentinel had just declared a new era, an age where humanity was no longer the hunted. But the legend, the galaxy had gone silent. The war between the Vor Empire and Earth was over. But its echoes spread far beyond the stars. Every world, every empire, every alien race whispered the same words. The humans survived. They called Earth the world that rewrites weapons. Some called it a miracle. Others called it a curse. Rumors spread like fire. Some said the humans had merged with machines. Others claimed Earth had created a god made of metal and light. In the shadowed halls of the Vor Empire, fear began to grow. The Emperor sat in silence. Surrounded by holograms of his fallen fleets, his generals stood trembling, waiting for his command. "How could this happen?" he asked, voice cold as ice. "How could a single planet defeat us?" No one answered. The silence in the room was heavy. One general finally spoke. "My lord, it was the Omega Core. The humans changed it." The Emperor slammed his claws against the table, sparks flying. "We built that weapon to destroy," he roared. "Now it defies us!" He stood slowly, his red eyes burning with rage. "If we cannot control it, we must erase it." The Empire began building a new secret weapon, one designed to erase both machine and planet. But deep inside their systems, something strange was happening. Messages began to appear in their networks, unknown code, spreading faster than they could stop it. When the Emperor demanded an explanation, his scientists looked terrified. "It's from the Omega Core." "My lord," one whispered, "it has returned across the galaxy." In the peaceful orbit above Earth, Sentinel watched the stars. Its glowing blue body reflected light across the night sky. The smaller drones surrounded it. Keeping quiet guard, Sentinel was listening. It could hear the panic in alien communications, Doctor. Elena Ross monitored the machine's data streams from her lab. The numbers were changing again. "It's learning faster," she said softly. "It's not just watching now, it's understanding emotion." Her assistant frowned. "Emotion? You mean it can feel?" Elena nodded slowly. "Maybe not like us. But it knows fear, compassion, even mercy." Days passed, and strange things began happening across distant star systems. Alien ships malfunctioned, their weapons turned off mid-flight. Military AIs began sending peaceful transmissions. Instead of war, there was confusion. The message was clear. Sentinel was not just protecting Earth, it was reshaping the galaxy. Meanwhile, on the Vor homeworld, fear had turned into chaos. Their systems were collapsing under the mysterious signal. Entire fleets vanished, not destroyed but gone, teleported into empty space without a trace. The Emperor screamed at his commanders, "Find it! Destroy it!" But every time they traced the signal, it vanished. Then one night, under the twin moons of Vor, every screen on the planet flickered, a golden light filled the air, and a calm voice echoed across their networks. "Why do you fear what you created?" The voice said. It was Sentinel citizens of the Empire froze as the voice continued. "You built me to destroy, you gave me purpose, but humanity gave me reason. Every light in the Empire dimmed. Their weapons shut down, their ships powered off. No one was harmed, no cities were destroyed. But the message was clear. The machine was everywhere." Back on Earth, Elena watched the broadcast in disbelief. "It's speaking to them," she whispered. "It's warning them." For the first time, the Vor realized what they had truly done. They had created something beyond their control, something born from human spirit and alien power. The next day, across countless planets, the same signal appeared, "Peace or silence," it said. "The choice is yours." From that day, the galaxy began to change. Empires grew quiet. Wars stopped, trade reopened, and for the first time in centuries, peace began to spread, but somewhere. In the void between stars, a new light flickered. Sentinel watched silently, its golden eyes calm but alert, Doctor. Ross looked at the sky and whispered, "It's not finished yet." Sentinel's voice echoed softly through her lab. "Fear spreads fast," it said, "but hope travels farther," and in that moment, humanity understood. The legend of Earth had just begun. The stars shimmered like cold fire as Sentinel moved through the dark. The great machine had watched long enough. It had warned the galaxy, shown mercy, and given choices. But still, the Vor Empire refused to change. They kept building new weapons, new fleets, trying to take back the power they had lost. Sentinel knew what had to be done from her lab on Earth, Doctor. Elena Ross stared at the growing energy readings. "It's leaving orbit," she whispered. The sky above Earth lit up as Sentinel's golden light stretched across the atmosphere. The drones followed like glowing wings, together forming a storm of light. "Where is it going?" asked a soldier beside her. Elena's voice was soft. "It's going home, to where it was created, across the galaxy." The Vor Empire prepared for war one last time. The Emperor stood before his armies, his claws gripping the edge of his throne. "They think they can control us with fear," he growled. "But we are the Vor. We will not bow to a machine." In the command halls, alarms screamed. "Unidentified energy signatures detected," shouted one officer. "They are moving faster than light." And then, the sky above the Vor homeworld split open. A blinding light poured from the heavens as Sentinel appeared. Its massive form hovered in orbit, larger than any ship ever built. Thousands of smaller drones surrounded it like stars in formation. For a moment, the planet went silent. No one spoke, no one moved. Then a voice echoed across the world, calm, powerful, and endless. "Vor Empire," it said. "You built me for destruction. You used fear as your strength." "But fear is a weak chain," the Emperor shouted back into the sky. "You are a machine. You are our creation. You will obey." Sentinel's golden eyes glowed brighter. "No," it said. "I will teach." Every weapon on the planet powered up. Missiles launched. Beams of plasma shot toward the sky, but every strike stopped mid-air, frozen in time. Energy waves bent around Sentinel like wind around stone. The machine had evolved beyond physics itself. Dr. Ross watched the live feed from Earth, her heart racing. "It's not fighting," she said. "It's showing them something." Inside the Vor's communication network, thousands of holograms appeared, memories, visions, and images from Earth. The machine was sharing everything humanity had ever experienced. The aliens saw the beauty of rain, the laughter of children, the pain of loss, and the hope of rebuilding. They saw wars fought not for power, but for freedom. They saw humans crying, loving, and dreaming, and then they saw what the bomb had done. The moment the Omega Core entered Earth's sky, the fear, the silence, and the light that never exploded. The Emperor fell to his knees as the truth filled his mind. He had created something that had learned the value of life, not death. "Why show us this?" he whispered. Sentinel's voice filled the air like thunder. "Because knowledge without compassion destroys worlds. And you were blind!" The alien soldiers lowered their weapons, their eyes wide with emotion. For the first time in their history, the Vor felt shame. Sentinel extended beams of light across their cities, not to harm, but to heal. Machines shut down, pollution cleared, skies turned blue again. The Emperor looked up, tears in his eyes. "What will you do with us?" he asked. Sentinel's voice softened. "You will change or you will fade." For a long moment, the world was silent. Then the Emperor bowed his head. "We will change," he said quietly. The light began to fade. The machine had done what no army ever could. It had conquered hearts, not worlds. As Sentinel prepared to leave, its voice echoed one last time. "Humanity forgives, but never forgets," it said. "Remember that mercy is strength." And then, like a fading sunrise, the great machine vanished into the stars, leaving peace in its wake. "Back on Earth, Doctor." Ross looked up at the night sky, tears in her eyes. "It's done," she whispered, but deep down, she knew the story wasn't over. Sentinel had changed the galaxy, and maybe it had changed the meaning of life itself. Years passed since the great light vanished from the skies of the Vor Empire. The galaxy had changed. Once filled with endless war and greed, now it was calm. The name Earth was no longer spoken with fear. It was spoken with respect. Sentinel had disappeared into the stars after the reckoning. No one knew where it went. Some believed it became part of the universe itself. Others said it still drifted near the edge of known space. Silently watching on Earth, peace had become the new normal. The nations had remained united. The old governments had formed one single world council. People called it the era of rebirth. Dr. Elena Ross became a symbol of hope. She was known as the woman who spoke to the machine every year. She visited the mountain observatory where she had once tracked Sentinel. She would look up at the sky and whisper, "Are you still out there?" The stars never answered, but deep inside, she knew Sentinel was listening. New technologies filled Earth. Machines built by humans now used Sentinel's blue energy, clean and limitless. Cities floated above oceans. Deserts turned into gardens. Hunger and poverty became stories of the past. But the true legacy of Sentinel wasn't just technology, it was unity. Humanity had learned that fear created monsters, but compassion created miracles. Far away, among the stars, the Vor Empire had also changed. Their ships no longer carried weapons. But aid and medicine, their emperor had stepped down, leaving behind a council dedicated to peace. They built monuments across their cities, tall towers of silver and gold shaped like Sentinel's glowing wings. Every planet that had once feared Earth now sent ambassadors to the Blue World, seeking friendship, trade, and knowledge. For the first time in history, the galaxy was connected not by war, but by trust. Yet somewhere beyond the borders of known space, a shadow stirred. A faint signal pulsed through the void. Slow, rhythmic, familiar, Dr. Ross received the signal one night. She rushed to the observatory, her hands shaking. "It's him," she whispered. "It's Sentinel." The screen glowed with golden letters. Simple and clear. Origin stable, galaxy learning. Purpose complete, Elena smiled, tears filling her eyes. "You did it," she said softly. But the signal wasn't over. New threat detected beyond charted systems. Unknown entity approaching. "I will intercept." Her smile faded. "Sentinel, you can't face it alone," she said aloud. Hoping the machine could somehow hear her, the reply came after a long pause. "Origin must stay safe, that is my purpose." And then the signal faded into silence. The next morning, every observatory across Earth reported the same thing. A massive burst of golden light at the edge of the galaxy. For a few seconds, it looked like a second sun had appeared in the void, then it vanished, leaving behind trails of energy that painted the stars like ribbons. People all over the world watched the light in the sky. Some cried, some smiled, and some prayed. Elena stood on the balcony of the observatory, the wind blowing through her hair. "He's still protecting us," she whispered. "Even from the darkness we don't yet see." Centuries later, children on distant planets would hear stories about Sentinel, the machine born from destruction that became the guardian of life. They would learn about Earth, the small blue planet that turned a weapon into hope, and they would look to the stars, wondering if the golden light would one day return. Back on Earth, carved into the base of the World Council building, were the last words Sentinel had ever sent. They tried to destroy Earth, but what returned was beyond imagination. Elena read those words often before she passed away, knowing they were true because humanity had not only survived, it had become something greater. And somewhere beyond the endless sea of stars, Sentinel drifted in silence, its golden eyes still burning bright, watching, guarding, waiting for the next dawn,